AJ, 2022 is mere moments away. How excited are you for this year to be over and for next year to be here? Follow us on Twitter, Shuhei.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't listening. I was preparing my voice. And the award for best TV show I watched while editing goes to Arcane.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I bailed on episode 3. I got to start it over because I have no idea what's going on. Arcane, so good, though, so far. I know you like it a lot.
Oh, yeah, I've watched it like 5 times.
Awesome. AJ, it's the Without Parole 2021 PSVR award show. I think we should just start the show and just have some fun.
Let's have some fun because that's what it's always about. And celebrating PSVR goodness with our family. La familia de gatos.
The felinema. That's not a word. All right, let's start the show. This is the Without Parole 2021 PSVR award show, coming to you live on New Year's Eve, right here from Worcester, Massachusetts, and somewhere down south, man. I don't fucking know where AJ lives, but he's down there somewhere, and he's right here with me, AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Bryan? What is up, Gamecats? And any developers possibly tuning in as well. Your Gamecats too, don't lie. Man,
and all your games are gonna lose.
2021 is coming to an end here, and yeah, man, it's been a really, really difficult year for most of us. But the bright spot has certainly been making content and hanging out with you, Bryan, doing shows all year long, and hanging out with the Gamecats, and of course, the people we are celebrating today, which is all the developers and people behind PlayStation that kept us happy and entertained all year long. So really an honor to be up here with you, man, and really, really excited for 2022.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks. Yeah, this has been a crazy year, and you know, I know there's a lot of people out there that look forward to GamesCast Live, or I'm sorry, that look forward to the award show at the end of every year for a bunch of reveals to see what, you know, where they're gonna be playing on PlayStation VR next year, and things changed up a little bit this year. I mean, the award show almost didn't happen, so I'm really happy that we're actually here doing this. This is going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to be here for a little bit and talking about all the great games of the year. But because of this all sort of coming together last minute, sadly, there's not going to be any acceptance speeches, and there's not going to be any award reveals for upcoming games or release dates, that kind of stuff. This is going to be strictly us hanging out with you guys and letting you know who won each vote. Because you guys are the ones who voted on all these games. This was a community vote. AJ and I will certainly let you know which games we voted for, and let you know whenever you were wrong, which I think is going to be frequent. I don't really know. But the fact is that we're just really, really thankful that you're here, that we get to spend New Year's Eve with you and celebrate the year that was 2021 and ignore all the crappy things that happened this year and sort of just be here together and celebrate all the good stuff that happened. Speaking of which, Darth Vader the Gamecat with the $10 tip says, I want to wish everyone an amazing New Year's. PSVR 2, let's go.
Let's go, baby.
We also got Dave Station VR with a $5 tip. Says, time to strap on. Strap in. Happy birthday to AJ and Happy New Year to everyone else. So that means he's not wishing you a happy new year, AJ. You only get the birthday. You can't be double dipping on this day. But yeah, please, everybody wish AJ a happy birthday. He's here instead of off with doing cocaine and hookers. Which you should be on your birthday.
You guys are too nice, man. No, thank you. Yep, I am a New Year's Eve baby. But yeah, man, that's not what we're here for. And no, who cares about my birthday? We're here to talk about the best in the world from 2021. Yeah, so I'm ready to get into it, man.
Nice. Cerebral Frost with a $20 tip says, for New Year's pizza. Yum. You know, I got to figure out how late my pizza place is open, because if they're open after this, I don't know, man. We'll see. Thank you very much, Dan. Also, Bell Ramey with the GameCat with the $10 tip says, I'm here. Happy New Year, Year of Zenith. Have a good one, everyone. Yeah, there's a lot, actually, I guess it's already the new year for a lot of cats out there, a lot of the European cats, and any Asian cats. Sorry, my mind just wandered. But thank you guys for being here. Happy New Year to everybody.
Wow.
Cool. Well, AJ, should we kick this thing off with the very first award?
Let's do this, man. Congratulations to all the nominees, by the way, tonight. You are all winners. We selected you for a reason, except for this first category, right, Bryan?
I mean, yeah, congratulations to all the winners, except for all of these nominees, because this is we've never done this before, but there were just so many terrible games that came out this year that we had to tell you guys how bad some of them were. And this is the worst PSVR game category. And the nominees are Horror Adventure VR. Yes, that was this year, if you can believe it. VROC or VR Rock, or I don't fucking know. Space Explorer VR, Darkness Roller Coaster, because they keep coming out with new editions. There's like 7 editions on the store, and 3 of them are from this year. And then Brain Beats. So, AJ, which one of these did you vote for as the worst PSVR game of the year?
I voted for Space Explorer VR because it was just really bad in every way possible. It was like unfinished. You know, a lot of people will say, they'll be like, meh, shovelware, blah, blah, blah. This is a good example of one of those where, I mean, like even like a syringe was the size of like a ketchup bottle. Like nothing was right about this game, and it was really weird. So that one got my vote.
Yeah, I've actually got to double down on that because everything about Space Explorer was terrible. I mean, it had a draw distance of like 5 feet in front of you at certain places. The missions, quote unquote, were just horrible. You just had to basically fly from one end to the other. I mean, it was just really, really bad. The only thing that I liked about Space Explorer VR was that I couldn't stop laughing. No, I didn't even care about that. I couldn't stop laughing my entire stream because I had to keep pausing the game because I was like laughing too hard and had to point out everything that I saw that sucked, and it was going to go by too fast if I didn't slow the stream down a little bit. Yeah, if you're interested, see how bad that is. Go check it out. But AJ, our votes don't really matter here, do they?
Nope. I mean, we voted. You know, they mattered, but that doesn't mean whatever we vote for wins.
Yeah. So let's see here. The winner, by a pretty decent margin, is VROC. Congratulations to developers over at VR Rock or VROC for your just really, really terrible PSVR game. Don't anyone play it. It's terrible.
It's pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Yeah. Not, like I said, definitely didn't think it was the worst game. But, you know, probably a little recency bias at play here. People forgot about the others, but yeah, still just not a great example of how to make a VR game. I'm actually, you know what? I'm okay with this because I said, hey, the one redeeming factor was that it had an easy platinum trophy, and that trophy was broken. So I couldn't even get the platinum. So no, I'm all for this. The people chose the right choice here.
I totally agree. Cerebral Frost with another $10 tip says, happy birthday, AJ. I think he assumed that you're going to drink way too much and barf.
If everything goes well, yes, absolutely.
Nice. And he wasn't seen for 3 days. All right, man. Well, you want to kick off the next category that we all voted for?
Yes, the next category is one that is near and dear to my heart, and this is the category for Best Dreams Creation of 2021. And the nominees are Jungle Bill 2, Pressure, Digital Chaos RPG, Left to Rot, and Hyper Cycle Arena 2. These games were all better, by the way. Each one of these are better than all of the worst PSVR game category combined. So cannot recommend these enough. Brian,
Yeah.
what did you vote for here?
That's an excellent question. I loved all these games as well. I did not get nearly as far into some of them as you did. I got to sample maybe the first hour of each one, and I got to say that I thought that Left to Rot was so impressive because of its. You kept mentioning of like it reminded you of Alien Isolation, and I think that's pretty fair.
Resident Evil 7 and Alien Isolation, yes.
Yeah, no, it was definitely pretty scary, especially at first, and although I hope that the creator can go back in and kind of like refine the VR controls, it was one of those that just really stuck in my brain. And again, if it was if they charged for it on the PlayStation Store $5, $6, $7, I have definitely spent $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, $20, $30 worse games than I would have on this.
Yeah, I played Left to Rot for like several hours. And I'll be honest with you, this was one of the hardest categories for me to vote for because, I mean, I did pretty much pick all these. And I loved each one of these. Each one of these deserves a win. I voted for Pressure, actually.
Nice.
And the reason I did that was it was just a couple hours long. And it was a just really amazing looking action adventure, like you would like a first person story action adventure, similar to like a System Shock or BioShock kind of thing. So if you're a BioShock fan, you absolutely want to check out Pressure. But are we ready for the winner, Brian?
Oh yes, we are.
Voted by the people, coming in with 39% of the vote. The winner for Best Dreams Creation of 2021 goes to Jungle Bill 2.
Oh yeah, man!
Excellent,
dude. Jungle Bill 2 was great because he very easily could have just been like, oh yeah, I just took everything that's in Jungle Bill 1 and slapped some new environments on it and maybe give you a new move to do or perform or whatever. Instead, you start off and you're in a plane flying over this huge open world. It's like, wait a minute, is there even typical Jungle Bill gameplay in here? Which of course there is, but like later on. He really, really absolutely killed it with this. Couldn't be more proud of our very own Nibbler.
Nibbler. Yes, Nick, great job with this, man. You really outdid yourself from the first time, and congratulations to all the nominees. Jungle Bill 2 is phenomenal. I mean, visually, it is one of the most impressive games. And I really think he managed to evolve the game from the first one by adding that plane mechanic. But then it goes back into the first-person platformer through the jungle. And it's just incredible, man. It is stunning. And he's currently working on more content for Jungle Bill 2. So
that's really good
keep
to
an
hear.
eye out for that. Yeah, he's
Nice.
got a new largest level yet, apparently, is in the works.
All of these guys, along with so many others that have we've named in the past and focused on a different best dreams list or different Gamescast episodes that we've talked about. There are so many prolific dreams developers out there who are just creating awesome stuff. And so make sure AJ's got this great list of different games that you should be playing, and make sure you go follow all those developers to see what they come up with next. Because I just hope the dreams community just keeps on growing and growing and growing.
Yeah, there's still tons of stuff being made.
Before we move on, I do want to give a shout out to Owando Kirinando. I pronounced that wrong. I know I did with the 20 euros. Says, Happy New Year's, guys. Been watching since 2017. Holy crap, man. That's awesome. I haven't used my PSVR in a long time, but this is where I come to be excited for PSVR 2. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for the tip. And PSVR 2 is going to be extremely exciting. We've also got... let me screw this up. Andy Hart with £5. Happy New Year's, guys. Was able to pick up an Xbox Series X and a NanoCell 86 for Christmas. Awesome gaming week. I'm assuming, because I don't do PC gaming, that's going to be some kind of graphics card or something. Is that just a... Any idea what that is?
No.
No. Okay. All right, man. Well, congratulations to all the dream creators that got nominated for this category, and we can't wait to see what you have next.
Yeah,
in
man.
store for us.
Congrats. All of these deserve a win. All of these deserve for people to go play them. So make sure you guys go check them out. They're nominated for a reason, and there was even more, and these were just the best of the best. So.
And for pretty much every single category, we had to drop something off the list. So if anybody's like, "Why wasn't this nominated?" It's like, because it probably was. And we spent a long time in voice chat over on Discord with any cat that wanted to join us. We all just hung out and talked, and so some of the debates got a little bit heated about which games should be nominated and which ones shouldn't make the list. I fought hard for Baby Hands. AJ shot me down. All right, man. I think we should probably bring up the next one. The next category, and that is the best hidden gem of 2021. And that brings us to the nominees. Puzzling Places, 1976, Back to Midway, Jupitergrad, Yuki, and Winds and Leaves.
Yeah, this one I don't exactly remember which one I voted for. I think I voted for Winds and Leaves because it was a really, really fantastic game. But I might have also voted for 1976 Back to Midway because I really think that both of these were really, really amazing hidden gems. And maybe it was 1976 because I considered it more of a hidden gem than some of these other ones. Like it was more hidden anyways. But yeah.
It was the best in its category. It was more hidden than the rest. I have to vote for you.
Yeah. But all these were pretty great.
Yeah, I agree. This was a tough category to vote on. And I know what I voted for. I voted for Yuki because Yuki's one of those games that I just didn't really like at first. I didn't like the way it handled some of the mechanics. I thought it was going to be a more traditional bullet hell shooter, but in VR, and it just really, really grew on me. And I played the crap out of it, man. And again, I might have scored another game on this list higher, but I certainly when it came to the best hidden gem, I thought that Yuki really got lost in the shuffle somewhere. Probably did not get the love that it deserved at all. That said, yeah, all of these are fantastic hidden gems, but only one can win. And the one that you guys voted for out there, by a pretty wide margin, Puzzling Places, which I'm really happy won, gotta be honest, because that game is so good. I thought I was going to hate Puzzling Places, and I ended up loving Puzzling Places.
Yeah, a well-deserved win for Puzzling Places. It's something that, you could look at it and just be like, it's just a jigsaw puzzle game. Who cares? But it's actually really fun and relaxing. And, even I'm on board with this game and have had a lot of fun with it and have played it past the point of review. Like I'll just hang out and talk with people and chat and play it. And, yeah, it is really, really amazing what they achieved. And I'm looking forward to additional content that they add to it in the future.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if that additional content is the multiplayer that they were talking about and more free puzzles. And, I guess if I end up continuing to play it, then I will certainly consider spending money on the paid DLC that they mentioned as well. Shout out to Andy Hart, who clarified with a £2 donation that the LG NanoCell 86 is a 50-inch TV. So,
okay.
Congratulations.
Nice.
On that. I think we should move along. What do you say?
Great, man. Okay, well, congratulations to Puzzling Places. The next category is one that is something that is very important to me personally, and that is the best sound design. And the nominees are Blair Witch VR, Song in the Smoke, Star Wars Pinball, Synth Riders, and Hitman 3.
Why is Why is this such a special category for you, AJ?
Well, I think sound design goes a long way in terms of immersion. I mean, there's so many reasons why. I'm a big music guy, so music can always like get you really pumped up in certain scenes, and like it can also make or break a game or a song for me. But also, spatial audio is something that's also really, really important for immersion, and I think like that's the simple answer.
Yeah, I agree. I think that like last year, was it last year or the year before, with Separation, walking through that big barren landscape would have been really cool, but I don't think it would have had nearly the impact if you just
Right.
heard your footsteps the entire time. Martin Wheeler was able to just like create an entirely unique soundtrack for that like really pulled at at least for me, tugged at my heartstrings, and really
Yeah.
made it a special experience for me. And so yeah,
Right.
sound.
Music is the difference between like a moment just happening and then a moment like making you break down and cry.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, which which one of these did you vote for?
I voted for synth writers, although this was a tough category.
Yeah.
'Cause Star Wars Pinball, I feel like the most immersive thing about it is the sound design. Hearing all those nostalgic Star Wars noises were really good. And Song in the Smoke, of course, also had really great sound design. All of these did. But I voted synth writers because I always am disappointed in, most of the time anyways, in like rhythm game soundtracks. Usually they're always upbeat, poppy, techno, electronic stuff, and synth writers just said we're going to just use the music that we like, and ended up with bands like Offspring and Muse, and really, really awesome variety of music. And so I have a huge fondness for synth writers because of the soundtrack alone. Goes such a long way for me.
Yeah, this was a tough one. I 100% agree because with synth writers, it was like almost like you're considering best soundtrack, right? And sound design goes so much further than just best soundtrack, right? And so for me, I had to go with Song in the Smoke because the first time I played through that game, I think I played it differently my first time, not knowing what to expect and not knowing if any of the worlds were dangerous or what the deal was. So I found myself very frequently hiding in a bush, listening for predators, kind of going into that hunting mode where all the saturation sort of leaves the world and all you see are the blood trails from the enemy that you're tracking. And all that together just really, really worked for me. Like I didn't want music in that game. And very so often when the music kicked in, it was very often like this single note that just resonated.
I do love the tribal music.
Right. A little bit
I
different.
do love
than
the tribal shit too, though.
Yeah, and then when it finally kicked in, it was super impactful. So Song in the Smoke was the one I voted for. However, the winner goes to Synth Riders.
Yes.
Again, taking a
Awesome.
huge majority of the votes on this one. Apparently, a lot of people like Electro Swing.
Yeah. It's a lot more than electric swing.
I know. I'm just a call back to our last episode where I had to
And
make
by
fun
the
of
way, they do that electro swing awesome. Has some amazing mapping. That is really awesome to hear. Congratulations to Synth Writers, because like I said, this game has amazing music selection. There's like metal in there for people like me that never get a lot of metal in video games. It's got it, and you can play music to or play the game to it, which is awesome. But yeah, Cluj Interactive was formerly, here's a fun fact, they were a music dedicated magazine before. So when I got to talk with them on the VR chat show not too long ago, they were telling me all about how like they still have a lot of these relationships with kind of the underground music scene and a lot of bands that they leverage, and that's part of how they get these amazing tracks into the game.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Yeah, I make fun of synth writers a lot, but hopefully everyone knows that I'm just kidding.
It's time and a place, Brian.
Mostly.
No.
All right, man. That brings us to our next category, and I think as special as the last category was to you, this category is pretty special to me. I've always been an artist my whole life, whether it be drawing or painting or graphic artist, and that's best visuals. And I really do think that we're in a place with VR that best visuals are actually important. There once upon a time, before VR, I was sort of like, man, graphics are fine now. They're all every game looks really good, and I don't care where graphics go from this point on. But then we had to take this big step backwards when it came to visuals because of dealing with the power of the PlayStation 4, etc. And now it's the really good looking games really stand out because not every studio is able to really achieve that awesome next gen level of visual style or visual fidelity. So the nominees for best visuals: Fracked. It's just Fracked. No, it's also Song in the Smoke, Blair Witch VR, Arashi Castles of Sin, and Hitman 3.
I fought hard for Arashi to be in this one, to be included in this category, because I do think it's a beautiful game. All these games are really, really good looking, but I've myself voted for Hitman 3 on this one because, quite frankly, it's one of the best looking games I've ever seen in VR. It might be the best looking game I've ever seen in VR. And I didn't know the PS4 was capable of looking that good. Throughout the years, we've gotten a lot of big VR games that ended up being kind of blurry once we got to them, and we were like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I was expecting this game to look pretty blurry, and then I played it in the headset, and I was like, my God, they've done it. So I don't know what black magic they used to make this happen, but yeah, absolutely stunning looking game, and it adds to the immersion and the polish and everything.
Yeah, Hitman 3 was hard to argue with. I think in my review I said it's the best looking PlayStation VR game ever, and I might have gone back on that just a hair, but I do think it's a stunning looking game, despite any of the drawbacks of pop-in or whatever you want to call it. But for me, I really, really, really had to give it to Fracked, because I think Fracked is just one of those games that knows what it's working with and just created an amazing look for its game with an art style that we were kind of familiar with already, with Borderlands 2, the whole cell shaded art style. But they kind of took it to a new level, I think. They really made everything look like it was, hand drawn, and just pumped the saturation, all the colors over the top, and you could see far out into the distance. And so I think everything in Frack just looked so incredible. It was just like a beautiful, it was like you were playing a comic book or something. And it was just an absolutely beautiful world to fight in and explore in. And so I had to give it to that, despite the fact that Hitman was technically a better game, a better looking game. That said, you guys voted, and you chose. I wish I had music for this, like dun, 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 dun. Hitman 3. Hitman 3 took it away with the majority of the votes, and we totally understand all of that. Yeah. That's a good reason that you guys voted that way.
Again, any game that is nominated, please accept this as a victory, because none of these were easy. These were a lot of tough choices, but congratulations to IO. GC13 is in the chat and says, IO created their own engine for the visuals, so it should be best. I didn't realize they created their own engine for the visuals either, so that's a cool little fun fact. And yeah, stunning looking game.
If you can trust that girl.
This game had my jaw on the floor several times, and yeah, well-deserved victory. I think the easiest compliment you can give to Hitman 3 are the visuals.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy Hart in the chat with the 5 quid says, are you expecting PSVR 2 this year? I'm asking because I'm assuming he means 2022. We're just moments away. I'm asking because PS5 is still hard to get, and I'm thinking middle of 2023. I don't mind taking a quick break and discussing this, AJ.
We'll get to that at another time. I mean, I'm expecting it at 2022, absolutely.
Yep.
But
even if it's holiday 2022,
the reason we don't have it right now is because of the supply chain issues. So, but that's probably a conversation for another day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm expecting expecting 2022, even if it's holiday 2022. If they feel as though they need to push it to that, just to make sure that as many people have PlayStation 5s as possible. I totally would understand that, even if I would absolutely hate that. It would feel like they were ripping up my heart out of my still beating chest. That doesn't sound right. Still beating heart out of my, well, I guess bleeding chest. I don't know, man. Throw some adjectives in there for me. But yeah, I mean, I could even see it launching a little bit earlier if supply starts catching up with demand. Steve CLT, wait, this guy's familiar. $20 tip. You guys rule. 2022 needs a BP colored hair and beard combo. Come prove you are VRAF in Alvo. Keep it real, cats. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, what's up,
Steve?
Congrats on your nominees tonight.
Yeah, Steve, you got a couple nominees for sure. So we just finished the best visuals category, and AJ, where does that take us?
The next category is for best narrative, and the nominees are Blair Witch VR, I Expect You to Die 2, Hitman 3, Alt Deus Beyond Chronos, and Song in the Smoke. Now, for those who don't know, how would you describe the best narrative, Brian?
Like, how would I describe this category?
What does that mean? Yes.
It means that we can't, unfortunately, give the win to Farpoint because it didn't come out this year. It means storytelling, man. It means good storytelling in a game, and that doesn't just mean, oh, this had a really good story that they plastered against all the walls, or that they stopped you in your tracks and forced you to listen to while somebody talked. It's not just that. It's how the story was delivered. It's what kind of story was it? Did it make you feel anything? I mean, there's so many different ways you can go with this, and that's why it's a pretty open-ended category. I think all the games in this list did it in their own interesting ways, right? I'm trying to remember which one I voted for in this category, but
I know which one you voted for.
I'm pretty sure I voted for Blair Witch.
Yeah, that's what I would guess that you did.
Because it's all done through like cell phones and walkie-talkies or whatever, and you're pretty much always allowed to walk around while you're doing that, and I think the story was just told in a kind of a multitude of different ways, and I can't really tell you about more of the ways that it has the story told, because I would be spoiling some of the shit that happens later in game, and I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, so just play it. What did you vote for, though?
I actually did vote. I voted for Hitman 3 as well for this one. When I played Hitman, VR was kind of the first time, besides like 20 something years ago, I was never like super into it. And when they said VR, I was like, okay, really excited about it. And, all these have really good story, really good narrative. But Hitman 3 was the biggest surprise when it came to the narrative and the story. Watching Agent 47's story unfold with some really cool like twists and turns, and just epic moments, like really, really epic narrative moments, were a huge surprise to me. And that is the last thing I thought I was going to like about the game, but no, I loved it.
Yeah. So that brings us to the winner of the category.
38%. This one had some close calls, but at 38%, the winner for best narrative of 2021 goes to Hitman 3 again.
Dude, and well deserved, man. I mean, Hitman 3, we were talking about the different ways that you could present a story in a game, but Hitman 3 does it in so many ways. There are so many different stories going on outside of the main story. I mean, just so many. You can just walk up and listen to have people having conversations that you could totally be ignoring, and then sometimes those conversations lead you down different paths and go, oh, wait, this is happening? Well, I should consider doing this over here, where like the first time you played through it, you might have missed that entire part of the game altogether.
Yeah, that was a tough category as well, but But yeah, I mean, I already said, because this was the one I voted for, why I believe that this one is proper winner, just for me personally, because it just had this, like I said, the story just had these moments that just left my jaw on the floor, and I couldn't believe were happening, and it's such a realistic world. But yeah, big shout out to, of course, I Expect You to Die 2 as well. I do love the story in that. Song and Smoke has a great story. Blair Witch has been one of the biggest surprises of the year. And the story in that, even just both the setup and the twists in that, really something you don't want to sleep on. I thought the premise of Blair Witch was, or the plot of it was really cool.
Yeah, Blair Witch is definitely a game you should not be sleeping on. That, I mean, I've probably said it 1,000 times. I'm gonna say it one more time. But after the disappointment that was Layers of Fear VR, the port was bad. It was obviously like a super stripped down port, possibly just the Quest version thrown over onto PSVR. And man, from the very first moment I started Blair Witch VR, it was an entirely different experience. It was, you could tell that so much love and care was put into it, and it just felt absolutely perfect, and it was exactly what I wanted. So yeah, I almost, I feel like I tend to overrate some games. You know, I always look back at 6 months later and go, that game was probably about a half a point overrated, right? So if I gave a game a 9, usually I always think, maybe an 8.5 would have been better. This is one of those games I gave an 8.9 to, and I could have easily given it a much higher score. So
I think you made the call.
yeah. But not even the game that we're talking about. We're talking about I'm talking about the winner. So let's move on. Actually, real quick, I want to make sure we don't let these tips get too far away. Jason Ewing with the $2 tip says, Alvo. Don't you worry, Jason Ewing. Your categories are coming. I promise you. And then we also have, there it is, Andy Hart again with the £2 says, what price are you thinking about PSVR 2? I love it. We didn't have anything to say about PSVR 2 for this entire show, and now I love how we're derailing it for this.
I'll say somewhere between $300 and $400.
I'm going to say 400. 400 is, I think, probably pretty appropriate, especially with all the stuff in those controllers. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, AJ, take us down a path. What's our next category?
You are actually introducing the next category.
Okay. I have no idea where we're at. Is this? Oh, yes, I do. Okay, I'm all caught up. That's why I threw it to you. I was like, I bet AJ can cover up my my disorganization here. All right, so that brings us to the next category, which is the best puzzle game. Now,
my favorite category.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a running joke around here that AJ doesn't like puzzle games, but as it turns out, he actually likes quite a few of them. Now, puzzle games, another interesting category, right? Because like people always say, well, is Tetris a puzzle game? I know Tetris didn't come out this year, but I'm saying like that so many games are like, well, is this a puzzle game, or is this an adventure game, or is this an adventure game with puzzles in it? How, what constitutes a puzzle game? Which again, definitely gives us a lot of options. And I will say that I think this year for best puzzle game, I think it's hard to deny that any of these would fall into anything other than the puzzle genre first and foremost. And the nominees are I Expect You to Die 2, Puzzling Places, Boxed In, Gadgeteer, and Wind. I was trying not to laugh when I said Wind. It didn't go very well.
Do we not have enough nominees for this one?
Dude, Wind's a good game. I mean, okay, so I want to be very clear about something. First of all, Wind is a good game. If you like that style of puzzle game, check out my live stream, see if you like it. But this is the only category that had a nominee that got 0 votes. And
it was Win-Win.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, the team. Oh man, that poor team that made Win-Win. I can only imagine nobody played it. And so, so I mean, if you need a good puzzle game, Win-Win's pretty good. But that's sad.
Belramia says I liked Win-Win. So why didn't you vote for it then?
Yeah, 0 people voted for it. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, AJ, what you didn't vote for Win-Win either, AJ? What did you vote for?
No, I didn't. I voted I Expect You to Die 2, and it wasn't even close. Although I could say Boxed In for making GameCat Island. Shout out to Boxed In. We have a GameCat dedicated area that's like an amazing part of the game too. So much love and respect to that game. Puzzling Places, like I said, I actually did like. Gadgeteer was also a really good game too. Actually, I do think it came out a couple years late to really get like any push, but I Expect You to Die 2 was an easy vote for me. That game is in a league of its own for some of these, and yeah, just an amazing, charming story and great puzzles, great VR interactiveness that it had, and yeah, just top to bottom, just a quality, polished game, and yeah, was really really enjoyable.
Uear's family, the Vin Diesel cat with 2 quid, says PSVR 2. Am I right? Hell yeah. I love
Yep.
it. Yeah, no. So I will say that Richard over there who made Boxed In, he was so close to he was on our Discord all the time, and he was great with all the cats out there, and pretty much any suggestion that anybody made for his game Boxed In, which again is super cheap game, right? It's like $6 or $7 or something. It's super cheap.
Yeah.
And the fact that he made Gamecat Island in there, like this really this hidden place that you could visit by only doing like a certain button
Cheat
presses
code.
at the right time. A cheat code,
Cheat codes,
absolutely.
man, brought cheat codes back.
Yeah, and so, and because you could only access it that way, like a lot of people don't even know that it's in there. Now, and then you get to Gamecat Island, and not only are a bunch of Gamecats names scrawled on the wall, but there's also a bunch of references to Without Parole. There's cats that represent me, Dave, and AJ. AJ's cat has a beanie on, which is adorable. And then of course, because of me, you can ride a jetpack. Right, you put the jetpack on, you fly
which is
through rings.
super fun.
It's
I mean,
super
that's
fun.
my idea of great puzzle game is a puzzle game where you fly a jetpack through like Sonic style rings out in the middle of the ocean for a leaderboard score. That is the perfect puzzle game. So maybe I should have voted for that instead.
No, so actually, after saying all of that and being like it was, talking about how crazy it was that he added all that, and how meaningful it was to us, because it was all inspired by things that we've done and said before. I still didn't vote for it. I was so blown away by Puzzling Places. Again, as a game that I didn't think I was going to enjoy at all, and I ended up loving. And I'm doing 400-piece puzzles, and I don't even care how long it takes me to get through. Sorry, sirens on my end. Anyone playing Without Parole bingo tonight? That's one of your boxes checked off. And if you missed Tornado, she was here earlier. It's another box. But yeah, Puzzling Places. Like at this point, I don't even want to do 25-piece puzzles or 50-piece puzzles or 100-piece puzzles. I want to do every single one. I want all of them to take all day, I don't know, so I had to vote for that. However, the best puzzle game winner by a large margin was I Expect You to Die 2 by Shell Games, and man, what a great sequel. This was such a good sequel. I was so nervous that it was going to be more of the same, and it actually was, but I didn't realize it was exactly what I wanted until I had it in my hands. I was like, this is actually really good.
Big, well-deserved win for Shell Games. They make really quality games, really polished stuff. And this sequel, I think, was better than the first one. Maybe a little bit easier, but still, just the game pretty much just had me invested from start to finish, and it was so enjoyable. So yeah, big, well-deserved win for them. It was awesome.
Yeah, 100%. Andy Hart with the 5 quid says, I need to get back on my PSVR. Been using my Quest too much. Sorry. I like that he apologizes to us for using his Quest too much. Damn it, Andy. Go to your room. No dinner for you. Stand in the corner.
Start asking us about PSVR 2 again. I like those interruptions better.
Oh, man. I just before we continue, I just want to say I really hope that everyone's having a great New Year's Eve. I hope that you're all being safe out there and having a good time. But I'm assuming that anybody who's here watching us is decides to take it easy and chill for the night. And that's what we're doing too. So thankfully you're here with us. Much love, everyone.
That was another bingo thing too. So there you go. Serial killer, I think his bingo card is going to be all X'd out.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, join our Discord. Click the link in the description. Serial Killer posted it in the in the general chat, which I saw just before we went live, thankfully. AJ, I think it's time for you to introduce the next category.
The next category is for the best first-person shooter of 2021, and the nominees are Fracked, Frack yeah, Doom 3 VR, Alvo VR, Sniper Elite VR, and After the Fall. Which one did you vote for here?
Oh, obviously After the Fall.
Is that a joke?
Hold on.
I know which one you voted
And Crash.
for.
What?
Actually, I don't know which one you voted for here, actually.
No,
I would think Doom 3, but you might surprise me here.
Yeah, I mean, it's best first person shooter. As much as I loved Doom 3, and I gave it a 9 out of 10, right? So I mean, I absolutely loved it. I voted for a game that I scored even lower because I think what it does for first person shooters in VR was just exceptional, and that was Fract again, because Fract,
Yeah.
with the cover based mechanics, it just felt so good to run around that world, and it almost felt like I was diving for cover. You'd you zip line into the action, right, and then immediately try to find cover, and you grab onto something and pull the world basically, and it always felt a little weird at first, right? But then immediately you're like, okay, now I got this. Boom, boom, pulling myself in and out of cover, shooting, blind firing, the whole deal. And as Nick Mulo pointed out to me, because there's no place that you're safe in that game. There's never one place where you can run into cover and then not eventually be in trouble. Somebody will run behind you. The enemies are actually fairly smart in this game, and it just does its own brand of first-person shooting so well that I think it actually set a new high bar for first-person shooters, despite the fact that it's got a ton of different problems. That's way too short and whatever, and there's not enough weapon variety, blah, 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 blah. As far as the core mechanics, it kind of blows everything else away.
Yeah, I don't remember which one I voted here, but it was probably, my gut instinct tells me either Fract or Sniper Elite. But yeah, just both were excellent first-person shooters for the reasons you described, and Sniper Elite had some of the best like aim down sights, and using the aim controller, I think that gave it an advantage too. Shout out to Alvo as well. Alvo has really clean, precise shooting and really great aim, and yeah, a fun as hell game too.
Well, speaking of, dude, I mean, so let's just say who the winner is here, man. Because although all these games certainly deserve a nod,
What did the people vote for?
The people voted for Alvo VR, man.
Whoa!
Yep.
First
absolutely.
surprise of the day.
Yep. I'll say it was a pretty close call, man. They just narrowly inched out the competition, but
wow, 1%. Yeah.
By 1%, they took the vote, which actually meant only it's only a few votes off. So congratulations, man. Alvo was one of those games that it just keeps getting better and better and better. It's going to be following in line with Swordsman pretty soon, where you can say what you want about the launch, but eventually it just got with all the different additions, all the different maps, all the improvements. I know that Mick Cole's out there. Well, we'll tell you how great the move controls are. Throwing shapes, Gamecats.
Oh, I love the I love. I actually switched between the moves and the aim controller with this game, and yeah, the shooting and stuff, like I said, is on point. This was one of the first games to actually get the sniper rifle to like render properly and work really well. A lot of games did like a workaround for sniper rifles, and Alvo kills it. There's no drift in this game either. Let me just put that out there, because if there's one comparison between this and Sniper Elite, I'd say some of these games, like sometimes get like aim drift. I don't know what they did with their coding, but everybody needs to copy whatever Alvo did, because there is zero drift in this game. Zero.
Yeah. And man, I love when I love when developers are able to be humble enough to say, hey, like this, we really want this game to sell, and if that means we have to drop the price to attract more players, then that is what we'll do. Right, and I think there's a huge amount of humility that comes along with that, and the fact that Martin Pole didn't bat an eye is that eventually they didn't take all too long. I don't think, right? Everybody spoke and they listened, and they dropped the price on the $25, and now Alvo is what I consider a pretty good deal on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, really good deal. I jump into this in my free time, and play around, and yeah, it's always a good time.
Yeah. I want to give a couple shout outs here before we move on. We got PSVR Zest in the chat. What up, our zesty little lime friend?
What up,
with
Best?
10 quid. Says, sorry I can't stick around seeing in the new year with the other family, but wanted to say thanks, Bryan, AJ, Gamecats, and Devs for a great year. We'll catch the replay and see you on the flip side with a nice big green, zesty citrus heart. PSVR Zest is another channel out there that got some love in Boxed In. There's a big lime with sunglasses sitting in the Shays Lounge out on Gamecat Island. So very cool. We've also got another tip from Your Long Shadows is a Game Cat Meow. What's up, Your Long Shadows? Says, oh, this is Tornado's first New Year's. No? Fingers crossed for fireworks chillness. Oh, man. Is that true? I think that is true. I will say, though, that somebody decided to build a baseball stadium down the street from me, and so there's fireworks pretty often. And so it took her a little while, but she got used to the fireworks. Thanks for the concern, though. She's cool.
But yeah, right, man, congrats to Albo. Big win there, some stiff competition. And yeah, that's a huge win for them. Voted by the people.
Voted by the people. Who did that category? Was that me or you? This is how my brain's working tonight. That was me. So take it away, AJ.
Category. I'm surprised you let me do this one instead of you, but it'll be interesting to hear what you say here.
I like that you think I planned things.
The next category, I know you don't, is for the best horror game of 2021. Had to have this category for you. You wouldn't do it without this category.
Well, I mean, hold on. I mean, so listen, it wouldn't be a Without Parole award show. It wouldn't be a Without Parole anything without something involving horror. So even though the pickings were a little slim this year, we still had to do it, man. And we're going to do the best horror category every single year. I don't care if no horror games come out one year. We're still going to do it. We'll find a way, I promise you.
The nominees for the best horror game of 2021 are Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife, Affected Complete Edition, Blair Witch VR, Doom 3 VR, and Layers of Fear VR. Woo. That's a rough one, man.
It's a rough one. I think you and I
should have just called it the Blair Witch category.
I think you and I consider it a little bit rougher than most. I know that if you go to Virtual Strangers and you talk to Wes over there, he's actually a really big fan of Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife, and so I think that some of his viewers might.
I was more talking about Layers of Fear. Layers of Fear is just bad in every way, but that's not what we're here to do now, is it?
I mean, if you listen again, you should see the conversations I had over there on Virtual Strangers. I guested on their award show, and we had 2-hour conversation, and I had to sit there and bash a lot of the nominees just because some of them weren't very good. And Wes and I had some crazy conversations about Wraith, about After the Fall, and about the the PSVR versions of those. So yeah, man, this is, we want to celebrate as much as we can, but yeah, there are certainly games on this list that were there just to fill a spot, and I think that Layers of Fear is one of those games. Just, we had to fill a slot, and it was the only other horror game that came out other than Horror Adventure, and that already was in another category, so that just wouldn't be fair.
It got a couple votes to its credit, so
there you go.
At least it got some votes, I guess.
So, I mean, dude, horror games are our bread and butter. But what did you vote for? Is it obvious?
Yeah, it's super obvious for me. It was Blair Witch VR. It was super creepy, atmospheric game, and great story that unfolds. I love Bullet, and they just did everything right. I mean, I'm shitting on all over Layers of Fear VR, and it's the same team that did the port for Blair Witch, and it's like night and day. I don't know if maybe they just listened to the feedback or what, but the Blair Witch is such a high quality VR game. The graphics are excellent. The controls, the interactions. A lot of the complaints that people had about Blair Witch from the flat version when it released years ago, I felt like VR alleviated a lot of that. Now, it doesn't have the most stellar gameplay or anything, but I don't play horror games for gameplay usually. I play them to be scared. And I thought this did a really, really great job of keeping up the tension and just really, really creepy. I was streaming this game, and I still got like some spine tingles, like walking through the woods are scary as shit when it's dark outside. They can be really, really scary, and I think it's just a great setting and a great game.
Yeah, a lot of games, a lot of horror games are pretty much glorified walking sims, right? And I mean, we've seen that with Paranormal Activity, which had very minimal gameplay.
Yeah.
Don't knock twice. It's like that's exactly what a lot of these games are. And to be fair, if they scare me, then I'm pretty much okay with that. I don't ask a whole lot for my horror games. But Blair Witch added quite a few puzzle elements, and the whole camcorder element, and laying those buttons out in the form,
Yeah.
in the shape of PlayStation Move buttons, was just absolutely genius. And they do that. They switch that out for every single headset, for every controller that they optimize it for all of those. And so you can just tell again that a lot of love went into this. That is extremely scary. Some really impressive environments, and all of that kind of like works together to create a much scarier experience. So it shouldn't come as any surprise that taking home a majority of the votes, with 57% of the votes, Blair Witch VR won best horror game.
There we go. You're welcome, Jay. Now Jay can fucking sleep at night. Are you welcome? Are you happy, Jay?
Are you welcome?
He won't shut up about Blair Witch VR and how much he loved it. So should also get we need a Jay Meow Award next year.
Wonder what that would be. We can talk about that off camera, I guess. Diz the Gamecat with the $5 tip says, I like the casual look, but what happened to the shirt and tie? Happy New Year to all the cats in the chat. Diz, I know that AJ's all dressed up and spiffy looking. If you can believe it, I'm also wearing like a collared shirt, and it's dark in here, but I am wearing a tie.
Oh, he's wearing it. Nice.
Right? So I got dressed up, and you can't even tell. What a waste of time. What a waste.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. He's wearing the old school throwback to the shirt. I asked him to do that, too. I didn't think he was either.
Yeah.
It looks very nice, man.
My lighting in here sucks. I haven't picked
what
up
I
a ring
can
light
see.
still. Yeah, I gotta work on the lighting. Maybe that'll be my New Year's resolution. We also got Firebird Old School with the 200 Sekiro. Says, Happy New Year 2022 PSVR crew 2022. Here we go.
Firebird.
Wait a minute, that didn't fucking rhyme. I thought the whole thing was gonna rhyme. Thank you so much, Firebird Old School.
Awesome, man. All right, so the next category goes to you, my friend.
Ah, interesting. Well, the next category then is... What is the next category? Next category is the best arcade game. And I will tell you right off the bat here, this is the first time we've ever done a best arcade category. But man, looking at this list of games, I'm really, really happy we have one, because a lot of these deserve some recognition. Starting with Yuki, Star Wars Pinball, Moose Life. Hell yeah, Jeff Minter. 1976, Back to Midway.
Love it.
And Synth Riders. And
Nice. I love these I love this category. Best arcade game, because it's not, it's not a traditional kind of VR category that you would think of. It's not a traditional category you see at all. So I love that this is like such a niche within a niche kind of thing, and super cool. And I voted here for Synth Riders because it's, again, it's my favorite. It's one of my favorite rhythm games. I do actually have a couple favorite rhythm games between like Beat Saber and Thumper, and there's actually Pistol Whip. There's some great rhythm games that are awesome in VR. But I had to go with Synth Riders here because, again, I love the music tracks and I love the music in it. Could definitely give oh man, I mean all these really deserve the attention and credit, because these are all excellent arcade games.
yeah, and I have to say that I think that Star Wars Pinball is where I would. I mean, that's what I voted for.
Super cool.
I love pinball, and you guys probably know by now that I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. Like, I enjoy it, if I happen to watch it, but I certainly don't know every single detail of every single movie, or even have seen all the movies. But still, it's a universe I'm familiar with and that I really enjoy, and having already loved Zen Pinball, VR, Pinball FX2 VR, and all the DLC for that. This very well could have just been more DLC, like some really expensive DLC. But they put out a new game They give us the fan cave with lots of things to unlock, and I absolutely love that kind of stuff. And these give you something to do outside of the actual pinball games. And so yeah, that's where I hung my hat. And I think if that had won, then it would have been a very well deserved victory. But that is not who won. Who won this one, AJ?
The winner for best arcade game goes to Synth Riders.
Hell yeah!
Because
man.
I voted for it. Yeah, that is the second win for Synth Riders, which makes me so happy because I feel like this game really flew under the radar this year, and I really adore this game. And yeah, man, a convincing 43%, might I say. But I did, truth be told, I loved all of these games, and I would love to give an honorable mention to 1976 Back to Midway. It goes on sale for like $6 already, and is a really fantastic game. But yeah, congratulations to Kluge on your second win tonight. That is super awesome, and I love this team, and I can't wait for multiplayer for this game.
Yeah. All of the everything in this was would have been a well-deserved victory. Any of these titles that if any of them had won, it would have been fine to me. I wouldn't have questioned anything. I'm actually a little surprised. Maybe I shouldn't be that surprised that Moose Life didn't get the love it deserved. Moose Life only got like 5% of the votes, and it's just such a cool, like if you love Polybius and you just want to have something that's a little bit, psychedelic, a little bit trippy when you put on your headset, Moose Life was a really, really good choice. Yeah, all of these games are all fantastic. So congrats to everybody, but especially to Kluge Interactive, who obviously made Synth Riders.
Yeah, man, hell yeah.
Nice. And that brings us to the best action adventure, which, again, a new category for us. And sometimes these new categories can be a little bit tough to define, I guess, sometimes. So when you look at this list, you say, hey, should I be focusing on, does this have the best action, or does this have the best adventure, or does it have the best combination of both? And so we left that up for you guys to decide. So for best action adventure, the nominees are Fracked, Windlands 2, Sniper Elite VR, Arashi, Castles of Sin, Hitman 3. AJ, which one of these did you vote for?
I think I went with Fracked here because I actually don't remember. I either went with Fracked or Arashi because those were definitely two of my favorite games of the year, and they, I think, fit the action-adventure mold really well. But yeah, each one of these is also a great action-adventure game, and I think any of these, whoever wins is deserving of it. I think all the nominees are deserving of the win.
Yeah, this for me was, I had to vote for Windlands 2 because Windlands 2 for me was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a big surprise. I wouldn't say action is something that you really describe here. It's a lot of
much more adventure.
It's much more adventure. I absolutely agree with that. And so, but there's
a lot of action though, because you're like shooting bows. You're like flying through the air and shooting a bow and arrow like you're damn Legolas. Or something, or Hawkeye or something.
There's so many points,
it's got lots of action.
Right, there's so many points though where it's just trying to grapple and make my way from one place to another.
Right,
and that's the action, I guess. I mean, how can you say, right, that grappling from place to place and like this, the most crazy form of locomotion in a VR game ever, is an action? And I guess that is, and so I guess it really does even more than I thought to define the action adventure category. And playing that with friends was really, really, really what drove home my vote. But I can totally see that, maybe not how everyone else would have voted. What did you vote for?
I don't remember. I think it was either Fracked or Arashi.
Well, let me tell you, AJ, who won this. It's Fracked by End Dreams.
Okay. Well deserved. I mean, this is the epitome of action adventure. It's basically Die Hard, and it's like Die Hard and Cliffhanger mixed. It's inspired by literal action movies. So I mean, there's explosions, there's tons of like high octane moments in this game. Lots of speed, lots of adventure. So yeah, this is a well-deserved win for this. It is the epitome, like I said, of action adventure.
Yep, it's really, really hard to disagree with that. Really hard to disagree. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Congratulations to End Dreams and our boy Jimmy over there. Such a great guy and a great team. And yeah, can't wait to see what they work on next.
You mean the city planner?
After next.
I can't wait to see what they do after the
I'm
next
just
game.
kidding.
After
I'm
that
just
game.
kidding.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm sure whatever they make is going to be fun. Even the city planner, I'm sure it's going to be fun.
Yeah, that one did. I think that one was a little close. I mean, they pretty much actually ran away with it, but yeah, Hitman and Arashi were right behind it. I guess it looked like.
I mean, yeah, Fract got 41% of the vote.
Yeah.
Nothing else even hit 30%. So yeah, Fract took that by a pretty big majority.
Yep.
All
Can we
right,
read
man.
the next category, or are you just doing them from now on?
Did I take 2 in a row?
Yes.
No, well then you take 2 in a row.
All right. The next category is for the best PSVR multiplayer game.
Nice.
And this one definitely got a lot of votes total. The nominees are After the Fall, Windlands 2, Alvo, Bullet Roulette, and Solaris Off-World Combat.
Hey,
Multiplayer's been...
hey, why'd you laugh at Bullet Roulette? That's the one I voted for.
Is it?
Okay, so honestly, like it was sort of like a pity vote. I was like, well, no one else is going to vote for it, so I'm going to vote for it. And actually, how many people did vote for it? Now I'm curious.
I was going to say 12.
All right, yeah, not too bad. 12 people voted for Bullet
There's
Roulette.
a dozen of you.
Right? Dozen of us thought it was a really fun time. It was buggy as hell, but man, there was, again, it did something that no other game has done. It's like who's I mean, it's a fucked up concept, but it was really fun, and the fact that they mixed in like a card game to go along with it. I had a lot of fun with Bullet Roulette, and of course it all has to do with who you're playing with, right? But I think that's sort of the deal with multiplayer games in general, and so PSVR has pulled me out of the multiplayer game closet and made me really enjoy multiplayer games for the first time in my life. And I had fun with all of these games. Sadly, though, Solaris, of all of these, never got even a single day where the lobbies were full. So I don't think anyone really got to experience how much fun Solaris can be.
It actually had like fun base gameplay. Yeah, the big three between here, I'd say, are After the Fall, Windlands 2, and Alvo. All of these had pretty good multiplayer implementation, and but there could only be one, though, right, Brian?
There could only be one. Which one was it?
And the winner for best PSVR multiplayer of 2021 goes to Alvo with the second win. And I think that this is another well-deserved one because, quite frankly, I'll be honest with you, I thought After the Fall was going to run away with this one.
I thought so too.
Because of the genre, because of the appeal and everything. And I think it does that right. The problem is that After the Fall is kind of broken right now. And I think that kind of hindered its thing. They did patch it once, but the game crashes. So I think technical issues really screwed up things for After the Fall here. But big congratulations to Alvo because, yeah, that's a fun it is a really fun multiplayer game, and it just gets better and better with each update. And, yeah, I enjoy the hell out of this game.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. I think that Albo is a fantastic game now, and and yeah, After the Fall should have been a game that I would have voted for. It should have been a game that I would have loved, and but yeah, the PSVR launch has just been atrocious. And luckily, despite everyone yelling at me in comments saying you need to support this game even though it's broken, I'm glad that After the Fall actually only took home 18% of the votes, and so that means to me that people are the vocal minority are the ones that are yelling at me, and everybody else really understands because Alvo this was a huge win for Alvo with 56% of the votes. Nothing else even came close. The second place was actually After the Fall with 18%, which is crazy. That is such a huge margin. So congrats, Alvo, again for your second win of the night. The cats have voted.
Yeah. The
They've
people
made
have
their-
spoken, man. I mean, yeah, that community is pretty strong and supportive. So good for you for building that community. All right. The next award is for the VR as Fuck Award,
Nice.
which is another name for Most Immersive Award. And the 2021 nominees for VRAF go to Song in the Smoke, Blair Witch VR, Fracked, I Expect You to Die 2, and Winds and Leaves. Winds and Leaves. I thought it was never mind. It's
I thought there was
something-
one more.
I almost said a number, but the number was part of how many votes it had.
Nice.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the Most Immersive, or VRAF, as we like to say, VRAF is kind of a thing that Bryan coined, and it's for games that take advantage of being in VR, something you can kind of only do in VR. You couldn't do on a flat screen. So
Or-
it usually has a lot to do with interacting or being immersive or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Shadow Legends was the game that forced us to kind of coin this term, because there was just everything you could do, everything that used to be menu driven, or you just push a button to do something. Now it's, you're sharpening a sword, or you're throwing a stick for your dog to go catch, or you're throwing something into a pan and cooking it over the fire, and you're doing all this manually, and it just feels good to do in VR. Not a lot of that had anything to do with the actual game, but all of those things included. I hope we start seeing more and more of those things being included in games. And I voted for Song in the Smoke for this one, right? Because that's what you were doing. You were carving sticks to make arrows. You were pounding stones to make arrowheads. You were picking up feathers off the ground, or killing animals to pluck their feathers and use on the bows. On the arrows. And so all of this, it just felt really good. It did feel like you were kind of in that world. And sometimes you'd be struggling to do things fast, right? Hurry up, there's an animal coming our way. It's like, I got to do all of those things I just talked about really, really fucking fast, so I have some kind of ammunition before they get back. And so I absolutely voted for Song in the Smoke. What about you?
Yeah, I don't remember who I voted for here, but I think all of these nominees are deserving. Even Wins and Leaves, which is, I don't judge games by popularity. I judge them by what they achieve and what they accomplish. And even Wins and Leaves, you're on stilts. You're moving with move controllers. You're grabbing everything off your kind of tools and whatnot. Everything you reach and grab from a part of your body and then interact with. And there's I don't even know if there's a menu in that game. But yeah, I think all of these are deserving. I don't remember who I voted for, but any of these could be a winner for how much they achieve for doing really immersive interactions. But there can be only one, and that the 2021 VRAF award goes to Song in the Smoke.
Hell yeah.
Which, for every reason you said, man, Song in the Smoke, I think, I gave this game, I think, somewhere between a 9.5 or 10 out of 10 as well. And this was my personal game of the year, and it was basically a lot to do with that reason. I think it introduced something that I hope to see in more games. Something that kind of Saints and Sinners did as well, which is you're physically crafting stuff. You're physically interacting with a lot of stuff, and the gameplay is super immersive in Song in the Smoke. The world is super immersive, and it's simply a must-have game. It was my 2021 game of the year. Incredible game.
Oh yeah. No, it was. I gave it a 10 out of 10. Song in the Smoke, to me, did just about everything right, and set a new high watermark for especially VRAF interactions in games. And this is actually the first award that it's won all night. It's been nominated for, I think, 2 other categories before this. And I'll be honest, as the votes were rolling in, this was the game I was keeping an eye on, saying, I wonder who out there has been playing Song in the Smoke. I wonder out there who's in love with it as much as I am, and who thinks that it should be winning all these categories. And so I'm happy that it won this award for sure. Pio Trek F with the 10 plantains in the chat. Thank you so much. I love plantains. It says Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Pio Trek. Yeah, man. So I think it's back to you now.
Indeed.
For the next award. Congratulations to 17-Bit. Love those guys. They're amazing.
Yeah, they are. Jake Kasdal over there, so enthusiastic about his own game. Whenever a developer is enthusiastic about their own game, it's infectious. And I'm so glad that it wasn't just some PR bullshit. It was actually like, hey, we have fun playing my game, and my game's awesome, and you're going to love it. He was right.
Yeah. Super cool.
That brings us to our next category, which is the best updates. And best updates are, games that came out prior to 2021 and then had updates throughout the course of 2021 that we felt deserved some recognition. And the best updates of 2021 are Pistol Whip, No Man's Sky, Alvo, The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, Swordsman VR.
Ooh, that's a tough category, man.
It's such a tough category.
Stiff competition because, all of these had some crazy things. I think, man, I remember this one being a really, really hard one to vote for. But I think I ultimately, honestly, any of these deserve the win. But I think I ultimately went with No Man's Sky here because the PS5 patch. And it took like one of my all-time favorite games and made it really crystal clear on PS5. Not only that, they added stuff like being able to ride pets and have pets and ride them and grow them. And I love No Man's Sky, but obviously any of these are awesome. I mean, Pistol Whip's DLC is almost better than the base game itself, which is crazy.
I think it is. Yeah, absolutely. Those campaigns,
adding like a story mode.
Yeah, that's all I want to see in Pistol Whip now. It's just more campaigns, which of course they're like, that takes more work than everything else.
Yeah, and then of course The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners added Aftershocks, which was like basically 4 or 5 more hours of Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and who wouldn't want that?
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really great stuff here.
Yeah, I actually voted for Aftershocks because I that's what I wanted in The Walking Dead. That's what I wanted in Saints and Sinners because they had given us the Horde mode, right? And which was fun, and you kind of have to craft on the fly and upgrade on the fly and collect things and manage your stamina and whatever. And I just that to me wasn't what I was looking for when I played Saints and Sinners. I was hoping for more story, for more campaign, and that's what they delivered with Aftershocks. And I
also teased the next DLC, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, big fan.
There's no more puzzles though. Puzzles aren't your guys' thing. Don't do that again to me.
Oh yeah. I mean, there were some hurdles to overcome in the DLC, and I certainly walked around for hours being like, what in the fuck am I supposed to be doing?
Just really bad at puzzles. Please leave them out.
Yeah, but for real, I do think it was awesome. Did you tell us what you voted for, AJ?
Yeah, I did No Man's Sky.
Okay. But the winner, shockingly, was neither one of those. The winner, Sin Studio with Swordsman VR. And holy crap, what a well-deserved win, man. Like, I mean, those guys over there, I mean, mostly, obviously it's Alex and with, he was able to hire on a couple of people to help him after Swordsman came out and started selling well. But they have absolutely been killing it. I mean, when it was looking back at how basic Swordsman VR was at launch and in comparing it to what it is now, I mean, they've just added so much. People ask for decapitation and dismemberment. They're like, okay. People ask for grabs and they said, okay. People ask for new bosses and new weapons and new everything, and they kept saying okay, and they kept delivering. And it just never ends over there. And so I think that maybe some of these other options, some of these other nominees had maybe like one big moment, like Saints and Sinners had like that, one big moment where it's like, here's your big update. But Swordsman has been pretty much constant since release, and so it's hard not to give the nod to those guys.
Hell yeah! Release the Kraken.
There's
that's for Serial Killers bingo. Dude, such a well-deserved win for Sin Studio here. I love this studio, and I love what they've done to expand and improve this game over time. And it really bodes well for whatever they're going to be creating in the future as well. Yeah, I've said it before and I'll say it again. This game has this Swordsman and Saints and Sinners have the best physics of any VR game I've ever played. And yeah, what they achieve with these updates, every single updates. I just played the Christmas update where you can there's just so much stuff in this game, and every time I play it, I have so much fun, and it's just fun to go in there and just battle it out gladiator style. It's so brutal, and the physics are just so much fun to play with. And then there's just so much content that keeps getting added to it, and it's amazing, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Serial Killer, the No Resolutions Game Cat. Ooh, I like that. It says, Happy New Year, Bryan, AJ, and Gamecats. Resident Evil 7 OBS, release the Kraken. Have fun with bingo. Thank you so much for the tip, Serial Killer. We love you. And also, on topic, Sin Studio is here with the Canadian $20 tip.
Sin Studio in the house.
It says, Happy New Year, everyone. We appreciate the nomination very much. Ironically, we're working on our biggest update ever right now. So things worked out. Bryan and AJ looking fresh. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, Sin.
Sorry about the lighting. I want to show you guys that I'm wearing a shirt and tie, and I look just weird, man. But anyway, thank you, Sin, and congratulations on your win.
Yeah, well deserved.
Yeah.
And again, yeah, if you were nominated here, be proud, because all of these were fucking amazing and made our year better. So thank you.
Yeah, we didn't just pull names out of a hat. We did. We had a very long discussion. It was hours and hours, coming up with a pretty rudimentary list, and then it was hours of, kind of whittling that down and deciding what should be on there and what shouldn't. And so shout out to all the cats that helped us do that too. Really appreciate that, you guys.
For sure.
Before we move on, Ash VR, the groovy game cat with a $10 tip, says, thank you both for everything you guys do. You guys are amazing. Nope, that's an exclamation point, not an I. And to the community and the devs, Happy New Year. Ash VR, the groovy game cat. Thank you so much. We love you. Does that mean
all right,
I'm back up or you're up? No, you're
I'm up.
Yep.
Now, this is an exciting one. This is a glimpse at 2022. And we are going to find out what the most anticipated game of 2022 is going to be. From 2022. We'll see what people are looking forward to the most. The nominees are Moss Book 2, Zenith VR, Wanderer, and Dash Dash World. Which one did you vote for here?
Well, I think a month ago I would have voted for Wanderer. But then we got to play the Zenith beta. And,
yes,
dude. I mean, I don't. If you guys saw the episode that AJ and I did with the, after we played the beta, you'll understand. When I stepped into that world, and I was just like, this is everything that I want. This is everything I've been asking for. Like, I'm not even an MMO guy, and like, I was so excited to be in an MMO world. And playing with a bunch of people I didn't know, and just seeing everybody running around and flying and doing their thing, and it took hours and hours to even start digging just beneath the surface. I was just so excited to just run around and grind for a long time, and I was having such a good time with that I had to vote for Zenith.
The big three got the most votes. The ones that are right around the corner: Moss Book 2, Zenith, and Wanderer. This would have been, I think I have it a little biased from playing the beta of Zenith. Like you said, guys, keep your eye on Zenith, because, wow, it is an impressively large game, and it is very interactive. It is VRAF and super good looking and full of content. So keep an eye out on that. That's what got my vote personally.
Yeah. Yeah, all these games are looking good, and I'm honestly just so happy I'm just honestly so happy that we have something to look forward to next year. While we patiently wait for PSVR 2,
Yeah.
no, at the end of 2020, there were a bunch of PSVR 1 games we didn't know were right around the corner. I think we didn't know about Fract. We didn't know about Arashi. I don't even think we knew about Song in the
Right.
Smoke.
Right.
Right? We kind of learned about those just a few months before each of them came out, and so hopefully we'll repeat that this year. Hopefully, at the beginning of 2022, we'll learn about some other 2022 games. But honestly, there's already a good full slate of games that I'm excited for. So if you're not going to be
Yeah.
upgrading the PSVR 2 right away, don't worry. You still have plenty of PSVR 1 games coming down the pipeline.
Yeah. I don't want to leave out Stride or Dash Dash World either, because these are all my most anticipated games coming out, basically.
Yeah. So
But the people are the ones that vote for this, Brian.
that's right. They sure did. And they voted in a big way.
And they voted for Moss Book 2. Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? Moss was my most anticipated game originally, a lot like years ago. But yeah, Moss Book 2, we've been waiting. I've been very, very patient about this one because the first one took a long time to come out, but it came out and it was pretty pristine. So I'm just as excited with everyone else here. Moss Book 2, getting Quill a freaking giant hammer to squash some like bugs with. Yeah, man, like that is super cool. I love platformers. I love the charm and thought that goes into the Moss series, and yeah, I'm super excited with you here.
Yeah. Confuse a Gamecat. This is so funny that he brings this up because he asked, was Among Us VR an option? And it actually was not an option. And it's these kind of decisions, and maybe, I look at this list and go, oh man, if Among Us was here, would it have swept? And I gotta wonder like what the case was there. But man, I am.
We made this before or after?
I think that's what the case. I think that's the case. I think we
Yeah.
made the list and then maybe didn't update it once it got announced.
Okay.
But man, but yeah, yet again another amazing game that's coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
Shell Games is working on that, but all of these games I'm so excited to play, and
Yeah.
and I'm actually I'll tell you, I told you I was keeping an eye on the voting pretty much daily. And and there was a 3-way tie on this one with Wanderer, Zenith, and Moss for like 2-3 days. Like one would get ahead by a couple of votes, and another one would catch up, and it was just and I just didn't know who was going to win until pretty much the last second. And so it was very close, but Moss Book 2 ended up taking it. Congratulations, Polyarch. We're all definitely excited for your game. I hope it's really good.
Me too. I think I'm gonna love it.
I think you're going to love
Well,
it.
Brian, that brings us to the biggest award that we give out during this show. Isn't that right?
That's right. I mean, the biggest award for any show, for any award show, it would be the Game of the Year, and we absolutely our final category is the PlayStation VR Game of the Year, and well, let's not mess around. This was the category that got the most votes, and so you guys were all very very excited to have your voice be heard. And the nominees are, that's weird, Hitman 3, Song in the Smoke, Arashi Castles of Sin, Sniper Elite VR, Fract. I'm just gonna hold for a dramatic pause and also change the trailer. Yeah, let's talk about this for a second. This dramatic pause is going to get real long because Slyword 251, a Gamecat with a 2.5 quid, says, Happy New Year's. By the way, does Zenith support DualShock 4? It does not.
Yeah. Happy New Year's, and no, it does not. It is there's a lot of stuff that requires arms. And Zenith has like actual swinging sword combat and conjuring spells by like waving your hands around and flying by T-posing and like all this stuff that requires moves.
Yeah.
Could not be played in without VR.
I agree. I think if it was played without VR, then you'd be losing a lot of what makes that game special.
Yeah.
The Funkadelic Gamecat in the chat says game of the year has to be Song in the Smoke. It's the only 10 out of 10 VR game I've ever played. I have no complaint. It's gold. That song, I will tell you, Song in the Smoke got my vote. I think Song in the Smoke is one of the greatest games we have on PlayStation VR. VRAF. The art design is amazing. I couldn't stop playing. I was just totally obsessed with it from beginning to end, and yeah, that's where my vote went. But AJ, what did you vote for?
This was also a really tough one. My game of the year was between Song in the Smoke, Hitman 3, and Arashi Castles of Sin. And it was so close. But ultimately, having to choose one, I had to go with Song in the Smoke. Because, it's just, I've got 60 hours in the platinum in that game. And it was just a beautiful, exciting, fun survival game. I know not everyone is into survival, but I am, and I love survival games, and I think this had a lot of interactive survival mechanics that made it wonderful. Yeah. But this was a tough choice. It was definitely this and Arashi and Hitman 3. It was like neck and neck for me.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of say that about every genre. You can say, well, not everybody's into sandbox games, like maybe Hitman 3 won't take it. Not everybody's into first-person shooters. Not everybody, it kind of goes for all of these. But yeah, I would say that maybe survival games don't quite have the following, don't quite have the love, maybe of some of these other categories. Jay Meow with the $2 tip says, Arashi has some of the best level design I've seen.
Yeah, I love that game so much.
Also, we have Aceville VR with the $5 tip says Happy New Year. And thanks to all you Gamecats. Swipe.
Happy New Year, Aceville. But as we know, Brian, it is not, you and I both voted Song in the Smoke here, but it is not up to us.
It's not up to us.
It is up for the people to decide.
It's up to you guys. And I'm going to tell you right now, there was no contest here. There was no contest whatsoever. So congratulations to the winner of the PlayStation VR Game of the Year by a landslide with 48% of all the votes. IO Interactive's Hitman 3. Congratulations. Oh, it's so hard to argue with this. It's so hard because it's so hard. Beautiful and you can play it allows you, even if you don't consider Hitman 1 and 2 as part of this package deal, it allows you to play Hitman 1 and 2 in VR. And that alone is man, it basically gave us 3 AAA titles all on the same day in VR, which was just actually incredible. So,
yeah, this game, I know a lot of people, I think the only thing that some people avoided this game was literally only the DualShock. They didn't want to play with the DualShock. Didn't stop me, and I'm glad it didn't stop me from playing it because, despite, like I said, similar to Resident Evil 7, it's like the DualShock is something I'm kind of willing to deal with this gen. Come next gen, that's not going to be something that we even have to care about. Right. But I think if you're a little open-minded, you can still get really immersed into games with the DualShock. And I know VR is kind of moving in a different direction, but this game is just wow. Just like I said, it didn't stop me from being immersed in the game at all. And there's so much amazing content in here, and it is just so good. And I love this game from start to finish. And there's so much more I can do with the other 2 games, which I've already played the majority of them. Yeah. But man, and then their updates as well. They could have been updated. They could have been nominated for the best updates as well because of how much post-launch content.
Yeah, no, they absolutely killed it. Like you said earlier in the show, we were very nervous about this game. We were looking at just how detailed the environments were, and we were playing the flat screen version of the earlier games ahead of time, and just being like, this is not gonna go well. Like in the back of my mind, it was just constant being like, what's it gonna be? Is it gonna be blurry? Is it gonna draw distance gonna be 2 feet in front of me? Are the interactions gonna be terrible? And yeah, I mean, there might be a little bit of adjustment period when you kind of dealing with the motion of the DualShock 4, but other than that, I mean, Resident Evil 7 is my favorite PSVR game of all time, and that's a DualShock game. So it's really hard to find fault with this, and it's just gorgeous. I mean, one of the one of the best looking games I've ever played in VR, if not the best. I go back and forth on this all the time, but it's just so crystal clear, so much detail, and that pertains to all three of the games in the trilogy. Really, 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 and if you blast through it and you're like, I played it and it took me 12 hours, that was all right. Play through it again, man, and try all sorts of different things, because you can spend easily 100 hours in each one of these games. There's so much content, and there's so many different ways to take down each level, and so many things that you I guarantee you did not see the first or maybe even second or third time through each of these levels. So, well-deserved win to IO Interactive. Congratulations, Game of the Year.
Yeah, man. So let's do. You want to do a quick recap of the winners tonight? First of all, let me just say once again, man, congrats to everybody that was nominated. If you were nominated, except for the worst PSVR game, you don't want to be nominated there.
But also congrats to you. You deserved it.
But to everyone else that was nominated, none of these were easy to pick. So thank you for making it so hard to pick and pick someone to vote for, because all of these were deserving of winning, and they were, man, like I said, 2021 was a really rough year, but because of the developers and these games, I've honestly had such a wonderful time this year, and it was all saved because of you guys. So really can't thank you enough for the hard work you put into these games and keeping us entertained. And yeah, congrats again to all the winners.
Yeah, no, dude, 2021 should have been. I mean, 2021 was a shit show, right? On so many levels.
Yeah,
and
it's a shit show that kind of was like trying to pretend not to be.
Yeah, no, and somehow developers found ways to work from home for the first time ever, right? Like the game studios have always been people working side by side, lots of different computer stations, and working on stuff together as a group. But somehow they managed to continue working and still get their games out in some kind of timely fashion. Some didn't quite make it, which means 2022 is going to be a lot of fun. But I mean, for a time where a lot of the world just shut down, the games industry found ways to continue to thrive. And this was a time, and still is a time, that we need VR games more than ever. That we need an escape from the things that are happening in the real world. And so, to every single person who's ever made a video game, a VR game, a PlayStation VR game, from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for being there for us, and giving us an escape from sometimes a really, really bleak real world.
Yeah. Love it, man.
Donatello, the Scientist Gamecat, with the $50 tip, says, fantastic show. Surprisingly, 2021 was an awesome year for PSVR. Love you, Gamecats. Love you, Bryan. Love you, AJ. Happy birthday, bro. Present in the mail. Side note, I concede my pizza bet to Aceville. I'll DM you in Discord. 0 for 2 for pizza bets. Yeah, maybe stop making pizza bets.
I want to know what the pizza bet is. But thank you, Donatello, man. And thank you guys, the whole community, for, it's been a tough year for us because, being a PSVR only supporting channel, it is not the easiest route. And we've always said it from the beginning that we've never wanted to do things the easy way. We want to do what we believe in. We're not here just to try and get rich and famous or to make lots of money or get super popular. We're doing this because we fucking love PSVR and we love virtual reality and we love PlayStation and we love this community. And we really believe in what we have here and want to keep working harder for you guys to make sure. And I think 2022 is going to give us the tools that we need to keep things growing and building at a rapid pace. A lot of other consoles, headsets, a lot of other areas that are getting a lot of attention. PSVR is really like, it's the least popular of any headset or anything right now. So, well, maybe not the least popular headset, but it's definitely one of the least popular things you could be trying to be successful covering on YouTube only. But again, that's not why we're here. We're here to tell people about the stuff that isn't popular that we believe in, not the stuff that they already know is great or is already getting tons of love and popularity. That's we're here for another reason. So just thank you for all your support throughout the year, and thank you, Bryan, for letting me go on this adventure with you, man. And I'm really, really really excited for next year because I think there's going to be some mind blowing things going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, dude, thank you for being here. Hopefully everyone knows how this all goes. I'm doing this full time, and you're
I'm
volunteering
working
your
there.
time.
Despite PSVR probably being at its lowest since like I'd say launch since launch.
Lowest interest since launch, I would say. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it is beyond its prime. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
And despite that, the community has still rallied behind us, and even I've found ways to grow just covering PSVR only, and it's been incredibly difficult, but also incredibly rewarding. So I'm super proud of the hard work we've put in, and I definitely plan to continue doing so no matter what.
Yeah, yeah, you guys are amazing. Like there's no way without this super supportive community that we'd be able to keep doing this. I've said it over and over. Like if as soon as you guys say we're done, we've moved on to other headsets, and we found other places to get our information from, and we don't have a need for Without Parole anymore. I'm like, I'm going back to waiting tables, and I'll just enjoy games with the rest of you guys. But you've been so supportive and allowed me to keep doing this full time, and it just means the world to me. Especially during a time where it's interest in PSVR is at an all-time low, but holy shit.
I mean, it's as expected. There's nothing to be like ashamed of with PSVR. Like
Are you ashamed? I'm not ashamed. I think
hell no. I am
got tons of awesome shit that's still coming.
Of the amazing games. I don't care if
I think it's a minor miracle, man. It's a minor miracle that we're still getting exclusives, that we're still getting awesome games.
We are still getting exclusives, more exclusives than other platforms. And so people can say whatever they want. That's just talk. Like there are games coming to this platform, and there has been a ton of things that I'm super proud that Sony and PlayStation and Shuhei and everybody have achieved. The developers have achieved with PSVR. It's incredible, man. It punched way above its weight and really showed what it's capable of, which is way more than any of us expected. So I take a lot of pride in what PSVR has achieved over the last couple of years, and PSVR 2 is gonna blow you guys away, man.
Yeah. I mean, eventually we'll definitely be talking about PSVR 2. We love talking about PSVR 2, and I think that's really going to change the face of VR. It'll certainly. I think it's going to put a much needed fire underneath the world of VR. That it's really it's really needed. It's a little bit right. It's running late, possibly, thanks to COVID, but shit happens.
It's not. It's definitely, like I said, supply chain issues, all sorts of things have caused the delay, but. There are great things headed towards us. It has been nice today seeing PSVR 2 getting so many mentions, so many mentions on Twitter and stuff today, social media. I'm seeing so many mainstream outlets. It looks like mainstream outlets are ready for PSVR 2. Even the mainstream media is ready to see what PSVR 2 is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, dude, we're just hours away from putting 2021 behind us. I know there's a lot of cats out there who have already celebrated the new year. So happy 2022 to you, and thank you for sticking with us throughout this year. And 2022 is just going to be bigger and better, and more fun.
Yes.
AJ, let's put 2021 to bed and say goodnight. Are you ready?
Oh no. Is it my turn?
Is it your turn? Oh, dude.
Oh, are we doing that?
I didn't even think about 20 questions. Oh my God!
Should we do a 20 questions for the last Gamescast of the year?
I mean, this is technically Gamescast time, and technically an episode
Talk
of
to
Gamescast.
the cats for 2 minutes. Let me pick something. I think it's my turn. Let me pick something.
Hey cats, just want to say, how's it going? I want to let you guys know that if you weren't aware, Order of Ecclesia is just an absolutely terrible Castlevania game. I played it on the DS this week, and it's basically the deal is that ever since Symphony of the Night came out, I've been telling people, I was like, if you like Symphony of the Night, there's like 6 more Castlevania games that are in the same Metroidvania fashion that you should be checking out. And boy, was I ever wrong, because I finally got around to spending some serious time with some of these games, and the Game Boy Advance ones are awesome. They are Circle the Moon and whatever, the Harmony of Dissonance. Very, very good games, and they stay pretty true to the Symphony of the Night formula. However, once you get to the DS, Dawn of Sorrow is pretty good, but Order of Ecclesia is terrible. I mean, like pretty terrible. I'm just letting you know that for some reason you're wondering about Order of Ecclesia. That's what I've been playing this week, and I finally had to jump ship about 80% of the way through the game. It's just not fun. All You Are is an abandoned. That's all I can see on my screen. I'm betting your name is bigger than that. Let's try this again. All You Are is an abandoned New Year. That's what it is. £2. Says, who wins the best host of Gamescast? That's obviously AJ. There's no question
that is
about
definitely
that.
Brian. Shut up.
Thank you so much. All You Are is abandoned. Also, Delirium Drew VR with the $5 tip says, Happy New Year's Eve. See you next year. What an amazing year with fireworks. Thank you for the fireworks.
Although I will say I am the best host of Interactive Chat, Volume 1 through 6.
You just wait until I guest host on that motherfucking shit. And then people will be like, Brian's the best host of Interactive Chat.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm ready, man. Let's do this. I almost forgot to have we were going to, I mean, I guess we weren't planning to do 20 questions,
Nope.
but
Absolutely not.
It's the end of the year, man. Let's do this.
Let's do
yeah.
This is why people showed up, man. We got to do it for them. All right, let me put a timer up. And guys, if you don't know how to play, AJ's thinking of a PSVR game. And that means that you guys out there are going to help me come up with 20 yes or no questions. And we also have only 6 minutes on the timer to figure out what PlayStation VR game he's thinking of. Good thing I brought a pen.
His full name is All You Are is an abandoned New Year's resolution.
Okay.
It didn't fit.
It didn't show up on my screen. All right, that's cool. All right, ready? I'm ready.
All right, and we're going to give you 21 questions here to
Because
send
it's
off 2020. Yeah.
Man. Let's hope I don't need
You're gonna need like 10 probably.
All right. Does it have move support?
Does not have move support.
No, we're in trouble. Is it DualShock only?
It is DualShock only.
Okay. Let's see here. I got to make sure I can see you guys. See all your questions here.
Ooh.
Is it spooky?
It is not spooky.
Okay. Would you consider it a puzzle game?
It is not a puzzle game.
Okay, so we're not off and running. It's DualShock only. Would not be considered a puzzle game. Not considered spooky. Is there any third-person element in this game?
Yes, I think there is a third-person element in this game.
You think there is? Okay. Would you consider this a platformer?
It is not a platformer.
Okay. Jay Webber, with the $5 tip, says, Happy New Year's Eve, guys. Thank
Happy
you so
New
much,
Year's
Jay.
Eve.
Oh, man, this is difficult. Is there any multiplayer in this game?
There is multiplayer in this game.
Okay. Guys, DualShock 4. Some third-person elements, and there is multiplayer. You control vehicles in this game.
You do control vehicles in this game.
Okay. So many good.
You're on question 9.
Okay. Has it ever been on a top 25 list?
It is, I think, always on a top 25 list.
All right, guys, that just suddenly narrowed it down considerably. Okay, top 25, DualShock only, third-person elements, DualShock 4 only, vehicles. Yeah, I think Wipeout. Is it a racing game?
It is a racing game. That is question 10.
Awesome. Is it a futuristic racing game?
It is a futuristic racing game.
Is this a port? Did the VR part get patched Was it a flat screen game that got patched with VR support? Let's put it that way.
It was a flat screen game that got patched with VR support.
Is this Sergeant Frosty's childhood?
It is Sergeant Frosty. Wait, that's like everything.
Just say
But
yes.
it is, maybe it's his real childhood, I think.
Is it Wipeout Omega Collection?
It is Wipeout Omega Collection. 14
yeah.
questions to get it right. Chat was going wild. Good job, chat. They knew what it was
Well done.
pretty early on.
Yep. Thank you, chat. My brain is not
And yes,
functioning
there
this
is.
late at night.
You can. So I was afraid that the third person thing was going to throw you off.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can
It did.
switch it to third person in VR.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
for sure. For sure you can. And I hate that. I absolutely hate playing
That's
it that way.
that's where that question could backfire. Is a good
Yeah.
example right there.
No, but thank you very much, everybody who helped out in the chat. Thank you, everybody who hung out and celebrated New Year's Eve with us and celebrated the entire year of 2021. We love you guys so very much. You're the best community on the face of the planet. Again, if you don't subscribe to AJ over at PSVR Underground, what are you doing with your life? Go do it. He's helping me out day
I
in
thought
and
you were
day
asking
out.
me. I was like, well, I'm going to go hang out with some cats in Rec Room later. Got Saturday night stream tomorrow.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely, man. Like lots of reasons. And yeah, it sounds like there's a Rec Room hangout tonight. So make sure you get on our Discord and find out when that is. Unless you just want to tell people now. Do you know off the top of your head by any chance?
I know nothing. I leave
nothing.
everything up to my manager to arrange it.
Okay, fantastic. Guys, thank you to all the mods out there making my life easier, not just here, but over on Discord. Make sure you click that link in the description below and join us over on Discord. Thank you to everybody. Guys, I mean, so many people that help out the channel. Jay Meow, Sci-Fi Gamecat, Henry. We love you guys so very much. Are you crying over there? Did you just wipe a tear away?
I'm laughing because Jay is begging me to give him credit, but I don't know if he actually was the first to guess it or not. So I don't know that, Jay. I saw a lot of people saying Wipeout. Don't be selfish.
Yeah. I didn't see Jay's comment. So
I didn't either. I'm going to presume someone else said it first. So great job, other cats than Jay.
all right, you guys have an awesome night, and thank you for celebrating 2021 with us. Here's to an amazing 2022. We love you all.
Okay.